everybody. Welcome to the Locker Room Podcast, where we shine a light on all of our Bayou Region student athletes. I'm Stan Gravois. He is Dustin Robichaud. We work here at Terrebonne General, and we're happy to do this every week. Again, it is an effort to make sure that everybody knows what's going on in our high schools related to our student athletes. Today, got a great show. We're actually going to talk to Tyler Lewis, head football coach at Terrebonne High School, as they head into Week 9 against Central Lafourche in football again and into the playoffs. They are solid in the Division I playoffs, also solid in the Division I non-select playoffs. Is South Lafourche High School. We are very fortunate to have B.J. Young join us today on our podcast as they'll talk about this last game of the year. South Lafourche has Lutcher. That's a big one in their particular district. And then they move into the playoffs as both teams are solid in the playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about that journey for those two teams. We are going to get you caught up with the volleyball playoffs in just a second. Dustin, how are you? It is Monday. It is October. November.
We're in November 3rd. Yes, sir. Happy Sandwich Day, Stan.
Is there money to be made on these things? I'm wondering.
I don't know.
I'll make sure to have a sandwich.
Do you have a favorite sandwich?
Do I have a favorite sandwich? Boy, this is old school, but man, I kind of like bologna.
Okay.
Like I'll put bologna in a microwave with a little cheese on top. You know, you used to fry the bologna in the fryer pan and have to split the bologna just a little bit because it was bubble up.
Okay.
Yeah, I like a good old bologna sandwich. I'm good with that.
Turkey BLT for me.
Is that right?
That's it. Turkey BLT.
No, that's good too. That's a lot of good. Yeah.
Does your bologna have a first name?
It's OSCAR.
There you go.
It is. That's not true. I actually don't know whatever kind of bologna I got, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Again, God, November 3rd. It's the last week of high school football. The playoffs for volleyball are starting this week. Some games will be held tomorrow. That's Tuesday. We think we know exactly what's going to be happening with all of this. Again, unless anything changed related to the bracket, this is how it stands. In Division I, we have two teams going in, Terrebonne and Central Lafourche. Central Lafourche right on the bubble. They were at 32, so they have to play number 1 Dominican. That's not going to be very easy, but they don't have to travel far. They just go to New Orleans. On the other hand, Terrebonne, who is way down in the seedings, has to travel to Byrd High School in Shreveport. That's tough. Byrd is 33-7 on the year. That will eat up a lot of your athletic budget along the way for sure. In Division II, number 4 is South Lafourche is going to be taking on West Ouachita, who's number 29. At least that'll be in Galliano. Number 11, Assumption, is going to be at home also. They'll be taking on number 22, Northwood, out of Shreveport. So that team has to make a long journey. At number 20, South Terrebonne is going to have to travel, but not a bad travel. They'll be going up to the Willow School. And y'all, you told me you had never heard of the Willow School?
I had not.
It's fairly new. It's a good school. There's a few there. Kenner Science Discovery is a good new school. The Willow School is a really good new school in that area. Haynes Academy, just schools that we didn't know when we were in that school for sure. And at number 32, Ellender. Unfortunately, when you got number 32, you got to play number 1. They'll be playing St. Thomas More in Lafayette. That won't be easy. St. Thomas More has 36 wins on the year.
Wow.
In Division III, number 6, E.D. White will be at home. They'll be taking on number 20, Estruma. Interesting thing about Estruma is 21-9 on the year. So they've won some matches. I just don't think they play very good competition. E.D. White's 26-11 on the year. Vanderbilt Catholic is at number 9. Their record not stellar. I mean, it's 13-21. But they, again, are the number 9 seed. They'll be at home. They'll be taking on Booker T. Washington High School out of New Orleans. That team is 11-12. In Division IV, you have Homer Christian, our local team that is in. They are at number 12. They'll be hosting a team called Red River. Have you ever heard of that one?
I have not.
I know what the Red River is, but I don't know that I ever knew of Red River High School. They're 15-9 on the year. And finally, in Division V, two local teams, Central Catholic out of Morgan City. They're very good. They're the number 3 ranked team in that particular division. They'll be taking on number 30. Here's another one, Family Christian
I have heard of this one.
Yeah, I've heard of Family Christian. They are 12 and 14. They'll be coming into Morgan City to take on Central Catholic. And number 11, CCA, is going to be at home. They are 23 and 11 on the year. They'll be hosting a really good team, number 22, Vermilion Catholic out of Abbeville. Vermilion Catholic is 12 and 14. Those two teams used to be in the same district a couple of years ago. Now they'll be seeing each other again in the playoffs. So we wish all of our young ladies in the area a terrific first round in the volleyball playoffs. Remember, 32 teams make that bracket. In football, it's either 28 teams or 24 teams, depending on what bracket you play in. We do know that South Lafourche and Terrebonne are going to be in. Here we go. We're going to talk first to head coach B.J. Young of South Lafourche about his Tarpons. Coach Young, so good to have you. Hope everything's going well.
Yeah, man, going well. I'm glad to be here. Big one coming up Friday night versus the Letcher Bulldogs.
Let's look backwards before we look forward. You had a good win on Thursday night. You've been playing well a couple of weeks in a row. The situation is, too, if I'm not mistaken, and you could correct me on this, I know you've been sort of sitting out Landon Dardar at the running back position just because he's a little dinged up, and maybe some others along the way. Talk about the last couple of weeks and how you've been playing.
Yeah, look, man, I think we're playing well right now. I think we're peaking at the right time. Very proud of on how the defense has been playing these last couple of weeks, which is good to see us getting better on that side of the ball. Good to get Landon Dardar back healthy. He's been out a few weeks with an ankle injury, so it's just good to get him back as well. Main focus that we told the kids on Friday when we came back in is you can't get complacent. Let's continue to keep getting better. We had an exciting point in the season, right, going into Week 10 versus a really good opponent who's ranked high in the Division II non-select, who's playing really good ball as well.
Your impressions of Letcher now that you've seen them on tape?
They're Letcher, very, very athletic. They run well, physical football team. I think early on they maybe took some lumps just because the quarterback is a freshman. But, hats off to Letcher and Coach Jenkins and his staff, man. You can see the growth that child's made from the first week till now. Number 72 on the D-line is a handful. He gives everyone issues. I think, Mike probably the best player that we're going to play all year, including next week in the Division I playoffs. He's probably the best D-lineman we'll see all year. Your typical Letcher team, man, but like we told the kids Friday, it's about us. I think if we play how we're capable of playing, it'll be a four-quarter game. Look at them in the fourth quarter with a chance to win it.
Listen, it's a situation also, we say this, and we've been saying this for 5-6 years, that district titles are not what they were, and you're trying to get PowerPoint rankings. It's almost to the point where y'all have sort of set yourself in a situation where no matter what happens in this game, you're going to be right around the same place you were in the bracket. You could even rise with a loss.
Right.
That all being said, we talked about Meathead Dardar and getting him healthy for the playoffs. How do you play? I mean, I know the kids want to go out and win, right? I know you want to go out and win. But you also want to play in the first round of the playoffs at full strength. So it's kind of a game you got to play now, right?
Yeah, man. I think last week was more tricky. The Thursday night game being that it was going to be his first game back. Just taking him, for example, we didn't want to overdo him because we knew we need him this week coming, Week 10 and for the first round of the playoffs. But, we'll see how he looks today. He looked good on Friday walking around in film and things like that. If the more he can handle, the better. We're going to run it just like it would be just another Friday. The most he can handle is what we're going to give him. And he's a tough kid, and I know he's going to want the ball. I think that we're going to have to get tough yards on Friday. I think they're really good in the box. But so are we. But I feel like it's going to be tough yardage. I think it's going to be one of them games where every yard counts. Them 3 to 4 yard runs are going to be huge. Hopefully you wear on them and then you could get bigger ones in the end. But they're going to be big ones. I don't know how many big ones you're going to get off the rip. So he's perfect for that role, right? Our big line and him just pushing and getting 3 and 4 and keeping us in front of the chains and keeping us on track to move the sticks. I think it's going to be big for us Friday.
6-3, 3 losses, an undefeated team, a 1-loss team, and another team that lost 3, but they played, as you told me, the SEC West.
Right.
That all being said, you got to feel good about yourself because you were in the games. Maybe the E.D. White games sort of got away a little bit, but you were in the rest of those games. If I were to tell you, I don't know, in the middle of, say, July, after 9 weeks, BJ, y'all are going to be in really good shape in the Division I playoffs, which you have to play in. You're going to be 6-3. It'll be tough losses to teams that are very good. Obviously, at some point, you would take it. But tell me what you thought you were going to be after 9 games.
Yeah, look, I think what you said too is true, man. And the 3 losses of three really good teams. I remember when we lost to Edie White, everybody was kind of like, man, but like we said, they played in the SEC West to start the season. They're still Edie White, and but other than them, which I thought we were kind of chasing a little bit, I thought we were in the game, obviously in the game versus Thibodeau to win it at the end, and Vanderbilt as well. Kind of was tick for tack, for most of the game. So it's good to see us competing versus really good opponents. If you'd have asked, if you'd have told all of us, look, man, going into week 10, you're in the playoffs, you're controlling your own destiny. You take it or leave it. I think everyone would have took it. Now on the flip side, I will tell you, we expected it. We have a very senior heavy group that's got a lot of really good players who's been under the lights for 3, some of them 4 years. So I would have been a little let down if we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. So it was kind of expected, but we hold them to a high standard. But it is exciting. You're not playing to get in. You are in. You're playing for some seeding stuff. And in the playoffs are different, man. It's fun. You go off a pregame. It's dark already. It's probably kind of cold. It's win or go home. So every time your kids can get to enjoy those moments and be a part of that stuff, they can talk about for a lifetime. Look, man, we'll go into that week 1 of the playoffs ready to give somebody heck. We'll give them all they want.
I agree. Listen, I thank you so much for the time. We wish you the best of luck against Lutcher, and we'll keep up with you throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Stan, for everything you do for us, bro.
Always nice to have BJ with us, a good coach there at South Lafourche, and they're having a terrific year. Another team that's going to be in that same bracket, little bit higher ranked, quite honestly, is Terrebonne High School. We had the opportunity to talk to Tyler Lewis. Here's what Tyler Lewis had to say about Week 10 and his journey into the football playoffs. Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure to have Tyler Lewis, head football coach at Terrebonne High School, with me. The Tigers getting ready for a big game this Friday against Central Lafourche. One thing that's a little strange is that we don't have to worry about the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoffs. And as a matter of fact, I don't imagine the seed is going to move that much. First of all, Tyler, hello. Hi. How are you getting ready for what I can't believe is already Week 10?
Week 10, man. Good morning, Stan. I'm good, man. The season, man, is fast, really fast. Prepping for this week, prepping for what's coming in the upcoming weeks. Volleyball, getting ready for playoffs. So I'm in the process of scheduling transportation and logistics for volleyball. So I'm all over the place this Monday morning. But hey, it's another week, man. Another week.
Yes, and listen, for those of you who don't know, Tyler has also taken on the responsibilities of athletic director there at Terrebonne High School. So I would imagine when you're in the meat of your season, which is now, considering the playoffs are only a couple of weeks away, it's all those other things. We want to congratulate your volleyball team because they are going to be in the playoffs also, and it's a lot of logistics. And from what I saw, now we're talking on Monday morning, from what I'm understanding is it'll be a trek they're going to go on, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get CEC Berg all the way to Shreveport. So, Coach is that's the first time that we have to travel with volleyball and play off that floor. So, my volleyball coach is kind of nervous with logistics. I say, Coach, I want you to coach the game, prepare for the team. I'm gonna take care of the logistics. So
that makes
we got
sense.
that going on. Got the stadium stuff I got for soccer. Typical AD football stuff, man. But Stan, I won't complain, man. Like I said, I'm blessed for the opportunities, and we're just going to make sure we get the job done.
Awesome. Listen, you've lost 3 games this year, and I was looking earlier this morning at the records of those 3 teams, right? I mean, one of them has 1 loss. The other one is St. Charles Catholic, who's the number 1 team in their respective division. And then, a loss against a Destrehan team who we're finding out is kind of turning it on here at the end of the year. I know you have to be happy with some things, but I will say this. Before the Thibodeau game, talked to a couple of your assistants, and they kept pointing to that one guy, and they said, we got to get that guy right? And it's Orion Mosley. I know he's a little picked up. Give us a status. Will we see him on Friday? And is it better just to hold a guy like that out and get ready for the playoffs?
That's the toss-up. That's the toss-up as a head coach, man. And that's what we've been doing with Orion the last few weeks, is just holding him out for precautionary reasons, man. Do we have enough pieces to get it done without Orion? And that's something that we talked about. That's the things that we decided on, just to hold him out right now. He is a green light right now. Do we hold him out? Do we play him? Well, no, we lost Titus Fitch last Thursday, his backup, who's a freshman. So now we kind of rearranging the offensive line this week due to that injury. But it's gonna be a toss up, man, and ultimately it's gonna have a conversation between me and Orion. Just gonna see how he feels, where he's at with things, and he knows his body. I'm gonna trust him on it, and then that's what it's gonna be.
6-3. You got 9 games under your belt as you go into this last game against Central Lafourche. On paper, you're probably a pretty heavy favorite in that game. If I would have told you back in the middle of July, 6-3, with those 3 losses against those teams in no particular order, would you have taken it?
Our whole schedule is a test. Losing last Friday, it wasn't a favorable loss for us or for our the people that support us. But you got to understand that is a playoff type game, and I knew that going in. You'll hear me on the radio, you'll hear me do the interview with you guys on the weekends, and I'll tell you guys that we can't make those mistakes. We couldn't go into our game making mistakes, and we made a lot of mistakes versus Thibodeau High. Coach Lowell is doing a great job with his staff. That environment is off the chain over there. They're supporting him. You can see that they support them from the top on down, and that's the biggest thing that what you need as a first-year coach. But like I say, for us, we just can't keep shooting ourselves in the feet. You know what I'm saying, when it comes down to that type of play. So we just get better. We get back to the drawing boards. We do a better job of preparing. We do a better job of scheming and ensuring that we use the pieces that we do have.
Very good. Listen, again, heavy favorite on paper. What do you hope to get out of Friday night? Just setting yourself off on the right foot, getting into the playoffs?
It's going back to our basics, man. And my kids will tell you, Coach Lewis said, if we can do our basics the best, we're going to be a great team. Right, we got to get back to the basic stuff and ensuring that the kids that's filling these shoes of the guys that's been in front the first couple of weeks of the season, that they understand what's the objective and what's their responsibility, so that we can get the job done. But it's like I said, it's any given Friday, man. You can't take discredit to that staff and those kids at Central Lafourche. We have to prepare for them. We have to be able to be the team that we're supposed to be, and then we move on. We can't think about injuries, can't worry about injuries. That's going to happen. Valdez will tell you this. Valdez said, Coach, he can chew bubble gum and come off the bus and get hurt. Play the game. So we're going to play the game. We're going to play the game, and wherever the chips lay, they lay. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
You can't go into a Friday, worrying about injuries. That's going to happen. That's football.
I agree with you. Listen, we appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck against Central Lafourche, and we'll keep up with you throughout the playoffs. A big thanks to both Tyler Lewis and to B.J. Young for spending some time with us. We hope they do well as they close out their regular seasons this week, and then it's on to the playoffs. And again, big kudos to all of our local teams that made the volleyball playoffs. We hope they do well. The rest of this week, you will start to hear scores from week 1 of the volleyball playoffs, and we hope that all of our Bayou Region teams are moving on to week 2. Gotta go now. We'll be back next Monday with a full episode of The Locker Room, again, where we will tell you who's exactly playing who in the football playoffs. Hope you're here with us. Take care, everybody.